All right, class. Last time we talked about teens and drug use, and you should have done the drug category quiz, which would have talked about club drugs, depressants, hallucinogens, inhalants, marijuana, opiates, performance drugs, and stimulants. All right. So now we're going to do lesson 2-3, which is talking about drug misuse, abuse, and addiction. Here are objectives for the lesson. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to differentiate between drug misuse and abuse, identify factors that can contribute to addiction, describe the stages of addiction, and summarize negative consequences of drug addiction. Of course, we have our health terms. Several of these terms you might not know. If you don't know them, you can, of course, look them up online, or message me on my big campus and ask me if for further explanations. The picture right there to the right is a picture of a neurotransmitter in your brain. These are your brain cells, and whenever you use drugs, of course, it releases certain hormones and things that make these neurotransmitters trigger. So into the lesson. So you should have your green folder, and in your journal, which is your white packet, you should write a few sentences about behaviors. What behaviors would make you suspect another person was using drugs? So, what are some behaviors that you think people have that use drugs? So I'll let you have about 2 minutes to write a few sentences about that, and we'll go on in a second. So next thing is, have you ever heard someone say they're addicted to something? Perhaps a certain TV show, food, or activity? Just like the child above, he's probably addicted to computers or video games, and the lady above also is addicted to food, as you can see. Or describe something other than a type of drug as addictive. So it could be sodas, it could be energy drinks, it could be anything like that. What does it mean to be addicted to something in this context? So you should be thinking about, what does it mean to be addicted? So people sometimes use the idea of addiction to describe any activity they really enjoy or have a hard time stopping or not doing. They may use it lightly or in a joking way, but when someone's talking about drug addiction, most people have some idea of the serious consequences such as health, social, educational, family, and financial problems it can cause. Today, you're going to be looking at how the process of addiction happens, as well as the many negative consequences that result from being addicted to drugs. So, first thing, legal drugs. Legal drugs are legitimate drugs that are for medical use and prescribed by a doctor. These are drugs, like cough syrup, Tylenol, anything like that. Okay? So any drug, legal or illegal, can be misused and abused. So you can misuse cough syrup, Tylenol, Advil, cold medicine, all that. So what do you think these terms mean, misuse and abuse, right? When they're associated with drugs, how are they different? So, write what do you think misuse means in your notes, and then write down what abuse means in your notes also. Now, drug misuse is the use of legally prescribed drugs or over-the-counter drugs. So, for example, in greater amounts that are prescribed or recommended. So, using Tylenol, for example, Normally, you're supposed to take 2 Tylenol for every 4 hours. So if you take more than 2 Tylenol at one time, that is being misusing that drug. Or more often than what is prescribed or recommended, same thing as the Tylenol, in different ways that is what is prescribed or recommended. So if you get some medicine from the pharmacy and use it a different way than it's prescribed, or for purposes other than those for which the drug is prescribed or recommended. So all those are examples of drug misuse. Now, drug abuse is the use of illegal drugs or inappropriate use of legal drugs. So, examples of drug abuse would be to produce pleasure or alleviate stress, avoid reality, or alter perceptions. Okay, so this could be the same thing as using cough syrup or Tylenol or any other medications that are out there that are prescribed. Drug abuse is also that's done deliberately and repeatedly to achieve these effects, meaning that you do it on purpose. And drug abuse is also causes problems for the user. Okay? Now, what would be an example of drug misuse? Drug misuse would be taking more doses of cough syrup than recommended. So when the cough syrup says, 4 ounces per 4 hours, and you take 10 ounces, then that's more than what's recommended. Or taking double doses of medicine, would also be a drug misuse. Using someone else's prescription. So if somebody had a broken ankle or an arm and they were prescribed Vicodin or some other pain pill and you took it, that would be drug misuse. Stopping using antibiotics before they are used up. So when you're prescribed a drug, you're supposed to take that drug until you're up or you're done with it, no matter if you feel better. So if you have pills left over and you don't use it, then that's drug misuse. All right, and then taking leftover antibiotics that is not prescribed. So those are all examples of drug misuse. So what would be an example of drug abuse? Taking large amounts of cough syrup to get high. All right, so to try to get pleasure or try to get another effect. Using allergy medicine to keep you awake. Okay, even though you don't have allergies. Taking someone else's prescription medicine. Same thing as above. You can see the lines are blurred kind of, if you had pain pills and you gave it to a friend or sold it off, then you're contributing to drug abuse. Drinking if you're under 21, and then using any illegal drug. So those are all examples of drug abuse. So the line is then between misuse and abuse. As you can see, misuse can lead to abuse. All right, so using prescription or over-the-counter drugs, can lead to other problems. The main thing is drug abuse is any use or pattern of drug use that results in problems for the user. And it gets serious and serious and serious. So serious consequences would be habitual drug misuse and abuse leads to addiction. To be addicted to a drug would be, needing that drug every day to function. As you can see, the lady up top, she in 1998, that was her mugshot, and then in 2002, it's the same lady. As you can see right there, her face has changed a whole lot because of her drug abuse. So, what is addiction? What is drug addiction? As you can see right here, drug addiction is chronic relapsing brain disease characterized by compulsive drug seeking and use despite harmful consequences. Okay? So it is a brain disease. All right, it is up in your head. It changes the way the body is structured and how it works. It can lead to harmful and self-destructive behaviors. It is chronic, meaning that it's ongoing and long-lasting. Okay, it takes a long time to get off drugs. It is relapsing because someone who's addicted finds it extremely hard to stop using drugs. This person may be able to stop for a long time, but often relapses or goes back onto the drug. Drug seeking is also compulsive because they are driven to get the drug and use the drug, and it's very, very hard to get off drugs. And then harmful consequences of drug addiction can lead to physical problems, emotional problems, troubles with the law, of course, and trouble with your family, friends, school, and work. So as you can see in the pictures right here, there's more pictures of people that are addicted to drugs. You can see the one in the left side right here in 2005 and then 2007. As her face is turning a little different. And then the woman at the bottom left side, you can see her face over the time of 8 years of using drugs. So, next thing is to turn to page 4 in your workbook. That's your blue book. And you're going to read the sections and make notes about addiction. Alright, so turn to page 4. And read all the way to page 6, okay? And you should be thinking about these questions right here. How do drugs change the brain? What are some of the risk factors that can contribute to addiction? What are the stages of addiction? And what are some of the negative consequences of addiction? So, we're going to stop the video right here and let you read the workbook from page 4 all the way to page 6. After about 5 minutes, the video is going to start, and then we'll finish up. Alright, so you should have read from pages 4 to page 6. Now you can complete and share this. So you turn to page 7 in your workbook, and you're going to read the case studies and decide which state of addiction each one shows. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So you're going to read these case studies about people of how their addiction started and then progressed into, becoming addicted to drugs. Also, you can look at these pages, these pictures right here on the screen, as this woman right here has deteriorated over the last 4 years of using drugs. Okay, so read the case studies on page 7 and then complete them. You should have about another 5 minutes. Alright, so you should be done with your workbook, and we're going to close up by saying, what is one thing you've learned today that will help you to avoid becoming addicted to drugs? What is the difference between drug misuse and drug abuse? And what is an example of each? So these questions are going to be on your My Big Campus account. I will assign them to your class, and you need to submit these by Monday. So these are due by Monday. So make sure you log on and do these questions and submit them by Monday. Okay? So this is all for lesson 2-3. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. I will not be there on Monday either. So I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.